Howdy, folks. Is Val Mike here in Mexico right now. Oh, how are you guys doing, first of all?
Good morning.
Good morning.
I think I'm awake.
Oh, yeah, I needed coffee for this. So, first of all, Elihu made the thumbnail using AI. So if anyone has any problems, leave a comment, because I know that's a big no-no with certain people.
No, I thought that was a no-no for you.
Okay. It is and it isn't. I have an issue with me using it primarily, if that makes sense. Elihu, we know he's a shit artist, so it's different.
Hey, I use it for non-monetary reasons in art. Okay, I don't profit off of it. I do it for fun.
And
so
definitely,
it's okay for me. Yeah.
This stream should not be profited off of. I will make that clear. That's why I don't advertise any, a certain store on this stream.
Yeah.
But speaking of that certain store,
all right. Hello, Gap is in our chat again.
Oh, I didn't see Gap.
Oh, we got Chris. How you doing, Chris?
Speaking of that certain star, that is me, of course. Thank you.
Okay.
I'm here.
About me.
Go on, Vile. You were saying.
Okay. The changes to the USPS, where they're now post dating things. Apparently, when it even gets to the fucking post office, apparently it's when it goes through a processing center.
It's when it goes through its final process. So when it goes through sorting, it doesn't count. It's when the person who tips it out to the next place, they stamp it. Then that's when they're going to stamp it now. So that could happen up to 3 days later. I was saying how bad my holiday season was, but sales have slightly picked up in the middle of January. Except I just got hit with a $30 refund request because it says I do my shipping and handling within 3 days of sending the item out. And according to their tracking information, even though I sent it out on day 2 of day 3, it wasn't processed until day 6. So now he's demanding a refund and keeping the item. Wait, hold on. Here's the thing. I would appeal that to eBay, one, but
I'm
two,
going to.
What I would state from now on and change it now is state I ship my items within 3 business days. My time, I will send a message or I will mark it on the package the day I send it. Start marking it on the package and state that you have no control over the processing speed of the United States Postal Service.
Basically, right on the thing. Package will mail 3 to 5 business days within purchase.
Now, I used to message everyone telling them no when I shipped it out, but I kind of dropped the process off because it was just, it's something I forgot to do after a while. I'm going to have to start doing that again. I'm start emailing everybody when they buy something saying, hey, I shipped your item on this date. It may not show in tracking due to the new law.
Yeah, that's what I would do. And I mean, you might even want to change it and, and say like, USPS doesn't postmark things until 3 days after it may not postmark things until 3 days after I ship them. So I won't offer a refund unless it's,
But yeah, I don't know if you guys remember when I was showing off the Harrison Dula X-Wing that someone purchased. Yeah, but that's what they claim because, the date, they're like, yeah, I'm so sorry. So I'm kind of pissed off about that.
Yeah.
It's not only affecting that, it's going to affect mail-in voting.
Well, and that's kind of, I think, the reason why they did it.
Yeah, that's the point, but it's now affecting, small businesses. And, they always claim, I say they, this current administration says they support small businesses, but they're literally doing things that are hurting it. Like
they got rid of that department. Trump eliminated that department in the White House.
And I don't know if, because Gap makes a point, mail won't be running on Monday. I don't know if it will or not, because I think, didn't Trump try to say that MLK Day is no longer a federal holiday?
No, he only basically eliminated the free park day and MLK. MLK is still a federal holiday.
Okay.
I don't think he can change that. That would be Congress, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but with this administration, I can't put anything past them. I know my kids don't have school that day, but that might, as far as I was concerned, that was more of a state thing because the states can do it on an individual basis.
Yeah, states can eliminate or not recognize federal holidays like Ed Beacon did in Arizona with MLK in the 90s.
And Gap, if you're bringing that up because of what Mike said, that really does, in what his site says, that's not a business day, so that wouldn't count against him if that had happened.
Yeah.
Oh, but I've had people like send me messages saying, "Hey, are you going to send this out?" And I'm like, usually after I explain, they're fine.
Yeah.
I mean, like literally Saturday, I had 2 purchases, but I'm in Mexico starting Friday night. There's no way in hell it's going out Saturday.
Yeah.
Sundays they're closed. Monday they're closed, so it's not going to be going out till Monday or until Tuesday at the earliest.
But that's the first business day, though.
Yeah.
So you see, you're still
Saturday is the first business day.
No, Saturday's not counted as a business day.
No, Monday to Friday is business days.
Sorry, I count Saturday as a business day.
Well,
maybe
not.
eBay doesn't, maybe the post office doesn't, but I do.
Yeah, the basic business days is Monday through Friday. Saturdays, Sundays is non-business days.
See, so I'm fine with you saying that because that makes sense. I mean, that's good. That's a good policy to have when you're doing what you're doing. But it does. People can't hold that against you.
Yeah, I mean, I could take something to the post office on a Saturday. There's like certain like outlets that are operating on a Saturday. It's like a contracted out one. Some of the drugstores, like Shoppers Drug Mart, I don't know, whatever you have for drugstores, but they have like little post office outlets in the store. And
we have drop boxes and stuff.
I could drop it off on a Saturday, but it's not going out until Monday anyway because actual Canada Post has to go pick it up, and they don't work on Saturdays. Actually, this is one of the kinds you guys have a holiday that we don't. So, obviously.
So that was one little gripe I had.
Can we bring up the fact that Canada's so racist they don't even have MLK Day?
We have Indigenous, right? We have Truth and Reconciliation Day.
You guys only have an MLK Boulevard or driveways or street named after him. Come on.
Don't bring up you're trying to prove that you guys are better to the native people.
Oh hell no! I'm not saying that. I'm just saying we're trying to get better, though.
Oh yeah, Canada has a better history with
After
native.
50 years of you doing it and proving it
with native people. Don't be ridiculous, Elihu.
After 50 years of doing that and proving the concept, we will adopt it and say it was always our idea. Don't worry.
Australia was the first to actually publicly say we're sorry for slavery before America did.
Oh yeah.
Well, I'm not going to go into that, but that was one little gripe that I had. The other thing I wanted to talk about real quick, and I'll briefly mention it, even though Elihu did put it on the thumbnail. Holt Drilling is an oil company. They have, for the first time ever, stopped drilling in the Permian Basin.
Which is
Alaska.
Okay, thank you.
They basically COVID didn't shut them down. The last recession, the bubble bursting back, the dot-com bubble, everything else. Every issue that they've had, they've never had to stop drilling. And as of this month, they are stopping drilling because it has become literally drilling has become unprofitable for them because OPEC's been flooding the market.
Yeah.
So just know that, your gas prices might be going down right now, but it is doing nothing but hurting the American oil companies. That's why when he had his little meeting over the Venezuela oil, what did the oil companies basically say? Oh, you give us a $400 million subsidy, then we might consider going into Venezuela. because none of them want to go in except for Chevron. And the only reason Chevron does is because they originally had a deal to what was it, 40% of the oil or 40% of the infrastructure they were paying for
Yep.
before Maduro took over or Chavez took over.
Yep.
So all they want to do is recoup their losses.
Speaking of oil losses, you know about the deal with Qatar, right?
I just need to answer Gap's question. Gap, it's because the profit is in the end product, right? Like they don't like lower the prices because the current price of gas, when it was this price before, our gas here was less than $1 a liter, but now it's like $1.30 or so a liter because they don't bring the price down as much because they can make more profit because people don't really question how much they pay for gas. Like they question it, but there's like, you're pissing into the wind basically.
And so, plus, in February, when you see the winter blend start going on sale, so they can, clear it out for the summer stock. And yes, if you don't know, gasoline is on a cycle. They have a summer blend and they have a winter blend. When they switch over
in the winter.
Yeah. So at the end of winter, you'll see gas prices come down again. But that's just them trying to get rid of the winter stock so they can start, because they've been making the summer blend since November, October. So yeah, that's when it starts getting shipped to the gas stations.
Also, people tend to travel more in the summer, so they also, they're going to pull their profits where they can pull their profits. They might not be making a whole ton, like they might not be getting as much per barrel, but they're getting lots. Next level. The end user is still not paying as little as they should be.
Yes,
but
don't worry. The oil company will still make their money.
Oh, yeah.
If you're worried about that.
So if you were one of those people that were all drill, baby, drill, the fourth largest oil company on the planet. I'm sorry, I take that back. The fourth largest oil company in the United States has just said, we're not going to be drilling. We're literally stopping drilling.
Yeah.
So we'll see what happens. Anything else you guys want to mention about the Venezuela oil deal that you had any insights on?
I don't know if you guys brought it up. Did you hear what the Exxon executive said about it?
That it was a big mistake, essentially?
Yeah, non-verifiable,
how is it that somebody from an actual oil company says that, and yet Trump still thinks it's a good idea? I don't know. It's like, I would say that this is why you don't put somebody like Trump into the position of president. He does things, and he's been a business person for as long as he has. So he thinks he knows everything. Well, I'm not going to argue that. But the thing is, most presidents might stop and think, maybe I should listen to the guy who knows what he's talking about.
I just want my million from the 500 he sold that tanker for.
Well, here's the other issue.
That's enough to give everybody $1 million bucks.
Yeah, there's no way that tanker was worth that much in oil, period. I mean, people have done the calculations. It's like less than 10% of what that cost was.
Well,
the other thing is,
wait a second, it was more than one tanker.
Yes, but I'm just saying, when he specifically mentioned one tanker when he said that the 500 million originally. But the other thing he mentioned was
meant all the oil, but I don't know.
And the other thing that he mentioned was that he's going to use the Venezuela oil to refill the strategic petroleum reserve. Except he can't do that. The petroleum reserve is something that is controlled by Congress, not the president. The Congress or the president can ask Congress whether to set aside money to refill it or set aside money to or set aside some of the reserve to sell, but the president can't really do anything other than ask Congress about it. Plus,
the
SPR has to be filled.
He shouldn't be able to charge tariffs either, but he's doing that.
Well, Congress gave him special permission, essentially.
Oh, did they?
Yeah.
That was stupid of them.
Basically, it's yes, it's part of our job, but we're going to allow him to do it under these previous laws that haven't been used in a century type thing.
Then why is it at the Supreme Court?
Well, this again, the Supreme Court is the one that let them. Sorry, I said Congress, but Congress has agreed to not do anything about it, and the Supreme Court said yes, he can do it.
Really? They did that? I thought they were still deciding.
Depends on which law he's trying to say are doing which tariffs. And remember, most of the people on the Supreme Court are bought and paid for as is by corporations as well. So sometimes they will actually go against Trump in order to.
Well, that's what I was thinking.
Supreme Court has not given a final reading on the tariffs. On Trump's
Yeah, I thought
tariffs.
they were allowed to leave.
Not
them
on all of
in place
them.
while they're just-
Some
No,
of them
that's why I said that. Not giving a final reading.
Okay.
And speaking of tariffs,
One had been decided.
again, I'll go into tariffs in a second, only because unless someone else has something to bring up about Venezuelan oil.
I do.
Okay, go ahead.
You guys are aware that the U.S. sold about $500 million worth of Venezuelan oil, but they did not deposit it into a U.S. bank. They deposited it into a Qatar bank, which means they are subserving international creditors because Venezuela owes about 170 billion to international creditors, which means if it would have got put into a U.S. account, that money would have been gone through litigations. And when Trump said he put that money in there, he said, quote, "It's my discretion of what it's going to be, how it's going to be spent," unquote. He is designated himself the sole discretionator of how that money is going to be spent and where it's going to go to.
Can I ask a quick question? Where did you hear this? Because I haven't heard this yet, and I check oil stuff fairly often.
I did
So
into a Qatari bank, and that I heard that as well.
okay,
Yeah.
So we have confirmation from Dandelion. As I said, I'm not going to say something's true or not unless it's something I've read or seen myself.
I did hear
This has
that.
been vetted by several
I see
news
it on
outlets.
Yahoo Finance.
Yeah, this has been vetted by several news outlets. Where the money went and where
Trump
it
was
went
sending
and
funds
what's happening with Venezuelan
oil.
yeah, with
Sorry,
their
Making
litigation.
Qatar.
Sorry, Elihu, hold on.
days ago.
LDG was trying to add something. Can you start over, LDG?
Sorry.
I was just confirming it's on Yahoo Finance. Trump is sending funds from Venezuela oil to bank in Qatar. 2 days ago, President Trump administration will keep the money generated from the sale of Venezuela oil across multiple bank accounts. See, now they're just saying oil and not just a tanker. The largest is which is in Qatar.
Now,
Blah blah
let
blah
me
blah blah.
let me play.
Thank you for the
devil's
confirmation,
advocate.
LDG.
Let's
I
play devil's
don't see
advocate on here.
Anything else?
Go-
Oh wait, no. Here we go. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, LEG, check your Discord real quick, please. The reason why he put it in Qatar is probably exactly why Elihu said they owe creditors. And I'm not saying this is why he's doing this, but he says he's doing this so ultimately Venezuela gets around $300 million. If he's meaning to do that, he wants to keep it away from those creditors. And this would be a business move. This would be how business people would do it if they knew that they had. I mean, think about it this way: O.J. Simpson, when he got the civil case against him, he moved to Florida where they wouldn't touch his money. So it's not unheard of to do this to keep money from going someplace else. So I know it looks bad because one, it's Qatar, and there's that side of all of them. But
like, why the hell does he keep it?
what?
Why is he keeping it?
Because he said he was. Again,
No,
I'm not.
Shady right there.
I agree. I'm not disagreeing with that. I am going to say that it's just, this is a standard business thing, standard business practice to do that.
Give it to us, and you can't complain. Piss off. If you want the world mad at the American people, then make it mad at the American people and just give us the damn money and make us pay taxes. I wouldn't mind paying taxes on a free $1 million. No problem.
Dude,
Shouldn't that money be Venezuela?
Why?
Well, it was the oil from their country.
Well, the
just
dictator that was in control of their country took loans to try to build infrastructure in Venezuela. The problem is because of a corrupt government, it is a dictatorship. A lot of that loan money went into the pockets of his cronies instead of actually building the infrastructure.
Mm-hmm.
That's why no American oil company, again, aside from Chevron, because they were one of the big people that loaned that government money to get into their oil reserves, doesn't want to go into there because the infrastructure was never built.
How many
And
people
it's
live in
also
Venezuela?
Hold on, it's also assumed based on USGS reports that there isn't as much oil in Venezuela as people seem to be claiming. If you look at some of the
Not that big.
if you look at some of the reports they were doing back in the 90s and early 2000s, it was 1/3, if lower, than current reports. And if you look at where they were getting their numbers, originally they were getting their numbers from Chevron, and now then they started getting their numbers from the Maduro government itself. So it might not be the diamond in the rough that the current administration keeps saying it is.
So how many people live in Venezuela?
I don't know. I can't look it up right now.
I just looked up that Venezuela has about 303 billion barrels of proven reserves of oil. But I just looked up.
What's their population?
28.3 to 31.8 million people.
Okay, that still works. We can we'll share it. Everybody gets $1 million, including Venezuela. There you go. Every single person. We have enough to get to the 350 million in America, the under 100 million Venezuela, and still have some change left over. This is
Dude, I'm still waiting for the $2,000 check that Trump said he said he gave and he said he never said. I still want that $2,000, man.
Hey, LDG.
We're not talking about that.
I totally agree with you. It's never going to happen.
I mean, it's free money, right? Like we pay for the military.
Well,
Would you not think though that would be a plan that would be smart? Let's give it to the people.
Oh, I have a feeling
Some
Trump might
people-
actually think of it. I have a feeling he might do something.
he won't.
batshit-
No.
You know what? If he did do it, it would be batshit crazy. If everybody
Because-
got $1 million, do you realize like how many businesses would like disappear the next day?
Well, it wouldn't be just that. Hyperinflation would hit that country like you wouldn't believe.
Yeah, the
And that's
economy
the
would
last
collapse.
thing you want to do. That's the last
Well,
thing you
no,
want
but-
to do.
Agree to put in-
Hold on. The last thing you want if you're trying to build infrastructure is inflation.
Yeah. I get that, but inflation
about-
only
how about
matters
this?
if you actually purchase it. It doesn't.
Anybody put it into
it's
Social
just-
Security. Put it not
Oh,
in not wait, not into the account, but every person who pays taxes has $1 million put into an account for them released at the time they retire under Social Security standards, and then it stays in there, accrues interest. If you gave that to an 18-year-old today, do you realize what that would be worth whenever they do retire?
Better idea. All right, so you want to say about hyperinflation?
Even at
That's-
4%, they'd be doing great.
What if
That's
you just
the
give
isn't
everybody
that
$1 million
the tax?
in taxes, so you don't have to pay taxes until your $1 million is spent? That way, whatever money you make is yours, and your taxes are being paid for up to $1 million. That covers everybody: old people, young people, everybody.
That would still be a Social Security safety net, and I would say that would be a good idea for the Venezuelan people. And again, I would say this would be going to the Venezuelan people, not to us.
Oh, both. I'm sorry, we put the work into it.
We haven't put the work into it yet. That's the issue.
We did it just because we got the oil.
We haven't put the work in yet. That's what I'm trying to tell you, LDG. We haven't put the work in yet.
We got the money. What are you talking about? What are you talking
No,
about?
we didn't put the work in yet. We went in and we deposed the
Work in
dictator, and we're now selling their assets. That's not putting the work in.
I believe
talking
that's
about the
also
oil.
illegal under the Geneva Convention.
I don't think he's
probably.
worried about that.
But no, I'm going to go into tariffs real quick because we briefly mentioned it. Did anyone see the Truth Social post the president posted yesterday?
About
Yeah.
Greenland?
about Greenland and
Yeah.
implementing tariffs on the entirety of the European Union if they do not capitulate.
Oh yeah.
Which is
we're
kind of
screwed.
funny because didn't he complain that they weren't protecting Greenland enough? So they sent troops
Mm-hmm.
to protect Greenland, and now he's
The
complaining that
Germans
they
went.
did that. Way to move the goalposts, buddy.
Oh, and the funniest part is if you look at the actual numbers of the troops they sent, as of right now, it's like what 100 people total.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
So we have that. And how I really want to know, how does he think that putting a tax on the U.S. people is going to convince Europe? Europe does not need the U.S. The U.S. is a small market when it comes to imports from Europe. We get, well, I think like most of the imports we get from Europe are wine, olive oil, and what else was it?
Precious metals.
Yeah. So I don't see this being a big issue because how many people buy European wine here in the U.S.?
French
it's
wine
not
is sold a
money.
lot at Trader Joe's here.
Sorry,
Yeah,
I'm in
that's-
SoCal. We got Napa Valley, motherfuckers. I don't need
Yeah,
foreign wine.
I know, but we have Napa here as well. We're closer, but they always have French wines and French champagnes and Napa wines and Italian wines.
We remember due to one of the agreements with France based on the vine stock that we provided during their blight, we can make legally distinct French champagnes and wines in Napa Valley.
Yeah.
We are there's certain farms in Napa that
only
that are
Napa.
legally allowed to call their product champagne because of those agreements. So it can either come from the Champagne Valley or the Champagne region of France or Napa Valley. So now the Italians also make some pretty good wines, though. I'll give them that.
Wait, hey, no, that's not true. Just so you know, it says Napa Valley does not make champagne because champagne is a legally protected designation for
Yes.
sparkling wine produced only in Champagne region of France.
Okay, maybe the
They do
contract is up.
sparkling. They do sparkling wines.
There were two
And
farms
then-
in Napa Valley that went during the blight because originally those cuttings that were planted in Napa Valley were from the Champagne region. When the blight hit the grapes in the 90s, those farmers in the Napa Valley then took cuttings from their stock and transported them back to France because they were the only living stock that still existed that hadn't been hit by the blight. So maybe that contract
it's
is
never
up.
been allowed.
It was allowed.
You know what? I'm looking it up, and
There was an exception.
I see that. I think what they do is they might say it's from the Champagne region, but I
They still have to put
see-
it. They still have to put that it's a U.S. made champagne, or at least they did. I don't know. Again, maybe that contract is up, but it was something that was allowed. You got me on that. I can't say for sure that it's still allowed. It may have been an exception for a number of years, and how many years
I don't even see that it ever was. I'm looking.
When I was in high school, I lived across the street from a vineyard, and that was one of the things they would say on their tours.
Well,
Not that they were part of it, but
listen, let me go down that line with you real quick.
because it was just history of the vineyard and history of wine in California.
I know a couple wineries that have been shut down for basically taking wine from another company and putting it in their wine bottles and saying it's their wine. Companies will say whatever they want to say, whether or not it's legal or how long they get away with it. That's another thing.
Yeah, maybe I was lied to. Who knows? But I do remember hearing about the story back in the 90s. Because it was a big thing, especially Trader Joe's took advantage of certain aspects of it as well. Especially when it came to importing certain European wines based on the laws that we had in California and federal laws. So, but that's a story for another day. But that still leads to Greenland. And it also will go into what's going on in Minnesota. because one of the theories that I had heard right after seeing that post was Trump also said he was talking about sending in the 11th Airborne, and I believe Elihu, you posted that on Twitter.
Elihu had to go pee.
Oh well, I think he posted that where I originally saw it. So I started going into it, and they think that the reason Trump wants to send in this specific unit into Minnesota of the military is because they specialize in Arctic combat.
So they're wiping out like all the regular ICE officers are doing.
Well, apparently, it's he's from what I read, the Minnesota governor has put the National Guard under his control on standby, essentially, to not really combat, to enforce Minnesotan law against ICE. So the president is one-upping that by saying, we're going to send in the Army, this specific battalion. And it just so happens this is a battalion that specializes in Arctic combat, so they can get some training on American citizens before they go into Greenland. That was the conspiracy theory.
I just popped back and I heard half of what you said. Did you mention the fact that the military has already been mobilized and ready to set? And Waltz has already have the National Guard mobilized and ready to set to protect protesters from ICE?
Yep. Yeah, okay. That's what I was literally talking about. And I said that you were the one that I originally saw the thing from. And then I started to go to a deep dive last night, like at 11 o'clock at night. So thank you very much on that, Elihu.
Hey, Elihu, real quick, look at Twitter, please, if you haven't already.
One moment. Hang on.
Anyways, yeah, no, we'll
yes,
see how long that lasts. Okay.
And I literally had an argument with someone on Twitter saying that he wants us to invade Greenland because he wants us to piss off all of Europe, because he said something like, better to have fake or enemies than fake friends. And I'm like, they weren't fake friends, and it's better to have, some sort of friends as opposed to, dying alone.
Mm-hmm.
And the National Guard is going to be wearing yellow vests to identify themselves from the military. Let's hope the military has put on those yellow bright vests, reflective vests.
Jeez.
Well, I think the whole thing
down with you folk.
And explain to me why, on a realistic level, why ICE is going into Minnesota so much, considering their illegal immigrant population, according to DHS back in 2024. Granted, yes, I'm going to 2024, was 0.02% of the population.
I can surmise or speculate why.
Feel free to speculate, because I'm pretty sure you have the same sentiment as I do.
Okay, people are upset. They're protesting. He has no authorization to send in the National Guard, so he's sending in his own little federal officers called ICE, which is federal officers.
Stop. Hold on, stop. Stop.
That's what I said. I'm speculating. But
I need to stop you because I have a question beforehand.
Okay.
Were people protesting before ICE arrived or after ICE arrived?
They were protesting after ICE arrived.
Okay, so why was ICE sent in the first place if the amount of the illegals of the population is 0.02% of the population?
I have the answer to that. They were supposedly following up on that stupid daycare. The Somalian daycare host.
Okay, that would make sense, except for the fact that ICE has no control over arresting people for fraud. That is a different branch of the government.
No, that's not what they're saying. They're going there to get the illegal people out because they say that's going to fix the fraud.
Even though the fraud was investigated and was already processed, and people have been arrested and tried and
the amount of illegals who were participating in that fraud, as of what I did my research yesterday, again thanks to Elihu, when I went down this fucking rabbit hole, was 2 people.
Yeah, it was like a white woman, wasn't it?
It was two. Sorry, when I say illegal, I mean it was. There were 2 illegal Somalis that did participate in the daycare fraud. Out of a current, what,
You remember what I
400
said, right?
people?
Remember what I said when this was brought up the first time? Is I said that this YouTuber or whatever put out that expose that he caught this huge fraud and all that, and then the state released numbers and said, "Listen, we know about this. We're looking into it, but this is the normal type of fraud we see every year. This is not anything different.
This is what happens
standard."
when a random YouTuber who's not a journalist goes in.
And Gap is correcting us. His name was Nick Shirley. Just letting you know.
Yeah, goes in to investigate something. Thinks he can walk up to a daycare and get inside during business hours.
Mhm.
And when they refused him, as they should, because who the fuck wants a gaggle of fucking middle-aged or younger men going in with cameras to film your children? That seems totally legit. That's not pedo-ish at all.
No.
Well, there's also the fact that when Nick Shirley did his thing, he focused solely on the Somalis because he himself is a racist. It doesn't matter if 100 people committed the fraud. He's focusing on the 1 or 2 people who have darker skin, because that's what he wants to he wants everyone to focus on. And that was one of the big things I had my problem with NB about, was he's only concerned, he says he's concerned about fraud. I'm like, but you only want to talk about the Somali fraud, not the other 98% of it.
Mm-hmm.
Now you know that
I can answer your first question of why they're there, because Stephen Miller is a racist asshole, and he persuaded Trump to go in and cause fucking trouble. Like, it's basically just to like punish a blue state. Basically.
All right, go ahead.
You know,
and
go ahead, Chris, because I want to put in my little 2 cents after you're done.
To normalize ICE doing shit they shouldn't be doing.
I was going to bring up the fact that ICE has 3,000 agents. Approximately most of those are in Minneapolis. I don't know exactly how many, but 3,000 are in the state of Minnesota. The largest 2 cities are St. Paul and Minneapolis. Between those 2 cities, there are approximately 1,175 police officers, half of what ICE agents have. I think right there that shows you the discrepancy on what's going on. Listen, if he had 500 ICE agents there, that to me would seem like a large number.
No, it's ridiculous, absolutely ridiculous. But then they have all that money and they've like hired all those yahoos. They got to send them somewhere to do something.
How about sending them down to the border?
ICE is not trained for crowd control, only special operations called the SRTs. I think it was something like SRTs like that.
Well, they're not actually supposed to do anything with citizens.
No.
Well, that kind of supersedes what Noam said, basically allowing them to supersede the 4th Amendment now.
That was the thing that why you wanted to bring up. So before we bring that in full, Chris, did you have anything you wanted else add before I chime in with my 2 cents on my theory about why this is going on? Okay. My primary idea of why they're going into Minnesota is the same reason why they went into California and they went into other liberal cities. Trump wants to hurt those he perceives as enemies. One of the people he sees as an enemy is Tim Walz. Why? Because he ran against him. He was the vice president.
Yep.
Human F being, hopefully I'm saying that correctly. Trump put the 11th Airborne on standby to be deployed into Minnesota this morning.
Yeah.
So are they being? Do you mean they're being deployed this morning, or it's just
They're staged and ready to. They're staged and ready to be deployed.
Okay.
All they have to do is say move out, and they're on. They're leaving. They're all ready.
So specifically, I think that even though there's other blue states in this nation, he's going specifically after Minnesota because Tim Walz is their governor, and he wants to hurt Tim Walz. If he can turn their population against him, that's only his benefit for him. He doesn't care who he hurts as long as he hurts who he perceives as an enemy.
And the Trump administration is now trying to pursue charges against Waltz and the mayor for impeding ICE officer operations. In case you guys didn't hear about that.
Yeah.
I did.
Anyway, guys, I need to run out and feed my chickens because their little trap door is frozen shut. So it's a little frosty this morning. So I need to go and let them all escape from the little coop. But hey, maybe Captain wants to come up and.
Well, this stream is gonna be ending in 5 to 10 minutes anyway.
Okay, well, I mean, I'm
but
gonna run because my chickens are all waiting, and I like them, and I don't want them to suffer. So I'm gonna go make their
By all
breakfast.
means. Thanks for giving us the Canadian perspective, even though you're not a full Canadian.
Yes, and hey, we just got a new trade deal with China. Isn't that super duper?
Yeah. Are you guys going to switch over to the brick system too?
You know what? I wouldn't put anything past Carney, although he'd probably be more likely to adopt the euro. And there's actually this one Arctic island that's half owned by us and half owned by, is it Sweden, I think? But what it is they each, there was like a whole like,
the wine?
Yeah.
where they
bottle of
kept
wine?
like going and like putting the Canadian flag, and then I think it was Sweden would come and put their flag, and then they like it was like a kind of a running joke about who owned this island.
One of
But
the,
eventually they
like, one of the
decided-
cutest, and I apologize for calling it, the Canadian military cute, but one of the cutest territorial disputes on the entire planet. Let's face it.
Absolutely, totally adorable. But anyway, so now they've split the island in half, which means we actually have a border, like a direct border with a European country. So theoretically, we could join Europe, like we could join the euro.
Kind of like that island in Alaska that Russia and Alaska shares. Half of it's Russia, half of it's Alaska.
Something like that, yeah. But ours was, well, there was no like, it was just a silly thing that they did for like, I don't know, was it like 50 years or something? They just kept like, yoink your flag, stick my flag in, and then they'd come along and yoink your flag, stick my flag in. You know,
Didn't they leave a bottle of wine each time and champagne and stuff?
Yeah. It was like a bottle of Canadian liquor, and then
It was one of the things Canadians were leaving with Canadian whiskey, and I was always laughing about that because I love Canadian whiskey.
yes. Nice.
Oh, by the way, to answer Captain MKG's answer, more likely it's California because Trump said February no more payments have been made to federal government.
They haven't left California. That's part of my issue is because they're still here in southern, San Diego.
I'm not talking about Trump. I'm talking about funding. He asked about what target is next. I'm saying that Trump said that federal funding will be stopped to California.
All right, guys. I will probably stop by briefly on the next stream.
All right.
Thank you for the weekly little rant. Always a pleasure and a joy. Other than the topic being like nightmarish and
trust me. This is one of my ways of dealing with stress for the week.
Yeah.
Now, later, Dandelion, Elihu, you have the floor when it comes to the Fourth Amendment stuff because that's what you wanted to bring up specifically. So I'm letting you do so. It'll be the last thing we talk about.
Okay. Basically, Noam stated that ICE agents are immune from prosecution. They have all the right to stop and question anybody they deem to be illegal, which means if they hear your accent, like it's been caught on video, one ICE agent stops somebody's tax paper because they had an accent. That's not superset. That's basically profiling. That's going against New York, what federal judge said in New York, the stop and frisk thing, which basically police were stopping black people and brown people out of willy-nilly, and the federal court said, no, that's you can't do that. Trump is trying to do this thing with all citizens and all non-documented citizens in America, in this country. ICE can basically go to anybody's house, walk right in, and do whatever the fuck they want. The Supreme Court said that, I forgot the case, I can find it for you. They ruled that the police were justified in going to a place and shooting somebody. No charge was brought by the cops, which means that the Fourth Amendment was thrown out the window. Which now means ICE police can go into your place without a warrant, can stop it without a warrant, can stop it with no probable cause, just because you look guilty or you look illegal, or I think you're illegal.
Well, we all
Fourth
know,
Amendment is basically one out the fucking window now.
I wanted
Which
to add,
means
we all know that
hang on,
hold on.
which means I am fucking scared to go in a mission district now.
I was going to say, we all know that the Fourth Amendment does have that provision for reasonable suspicion, right?
Yeah, reasonable. Yeah, but that reasonable word is no longer valid.
No, I'm joking. It does not say that. That's why I was bringing it up. That was what Christy Dome was trying to point out is if they have reasonable suspicion, that's why they're able to, that's what bypasses the Fourth Amendment and pardon. And reasonable suspicion can include anything such as having brown skin, having slanted eyes, having an accent. So here's my question. If there's any California ICE agents that are sent to Texas and, Alabama or Georgia, does the Southern accent count as an accent so they can start arresting those people? Y'all got an accent, so I'm just going to throw you in the hooch.
Yeah, there's a video here where ICE agents confronted somebody because he has an accent, and the guy's like, "You have an accent too. Are you a citizen?" And what did the ICE agent do? Put him under arrest.
Yeah, they're going to have to come out with a list of which accents are applicable to reasonable suspicion.
Oh, no, they don't have to worry about that because don't forget, ICE agents are immune from all prosecution now.
That's not going to be true. Listen, I mean, ultimately this comes back to what I said about Trump and doing things. He's going to do it. He's going to have his administration do these things until somebody sues or somebody takes it to court, and then it has to get to another court, then it gets to another court, and it gets to another court. This is just to put it in litigation for a long time, and he can keep doing it until then, unless the judge specifically states that until the ruling goes through, that all those actions need to stop, and until it gets out of a municipal, state, or county area and gets to the U.S. side of it, it's going to last forever. It's and there's already things about the Fourth Amendment and ICE that have been decided. So this would have to be something going to the Supreme Court. So again, it's not do they have the right? No, they don't. It's do they get away with it until somebody litigates it, and then it's in court forever. This is what Trump and his administration is doing. They are not overtly breaking the rules because they want. They are not. Let me rephrase it. They're not overtly breaking the rules because they don't care. They're breaking the rules to see how far they can go. And until they get those designations, they can do this stuff.
And that's one of my issues is when it comes to the law, I'm a firm believer in the spirit of the law versus the letter of the law. And the reason I don't like the letter of the law is because it's not as accurate. The law has to be specific, unfortunately. And like one of the examples I'll give is when I had 2 Ninja Stars in my car that were given to me as a birthday present years ago. Those were felony weapons possession charges that I had against me. I could still be in prison over those because they were, felony weapons possessions. We're talking Ninja fucking Stars. But was I really, trafficking in, felony weapons? Was I doing anything wrong with them? No. If the judge had gone by the spirit of the law instead of, me making a joke that actually got him to drop the charges, yes, by the letter of the law, I broke the law, but under the spirit of the law for trying to protect citizens, I didn't break any freaking law. So that's one of the reasons why I'm a big proponent for the spirit of the law versus the letter of the law. But now we have 10 minutes before the CNA stream starts. Anything you guys want to add before I end this stream?
Yeah, just breaking news. NATO has responded to Trump's tariff saying they're unacceptable.
Oh, they said that yesterday. last night.
Yeah. All
Sorry,
right.
not really
then,
breaking news.
I will see you guys on the CNA stream in about 10 minutes. And
Oh, by the way, I want
if
to
you want-
remind everybody who's over protesting, ICE does not have legal authority to call a assembly unlawful. Only police and local enforcement can do that.
well, thank you for that. I'm
throwing it
pretty
out
sure
there.
that's part of the First Amendment, but if we need a reminder.
Yeah, ICE
And
cannot legally
Gap
say
or Cap,
unlawful
if you
assembly.
want to link, reach out and we'll see what we can do for you guys. All right. Later, folks.
Later, weirdos.